Hello, my friends. Today we're going to talk about the topic history time flow. And the reason why we choose this topic is because we can see that capitalism time is going to collapse. We can see many evidence nowadays, like coming economical crisis and many wars going on and many like revolutions going in many countries these days. So let's analyze what we have. So let's see on this graph. Nowadays we live in a world, and this time we call democracy. And originally democracy started after Second World War, which is 1945. And what was before democracy? So that time we called empire time. There was British Empire, Russian Empire, Japan Empire, Ottoman empires, and so on. So all empires' times started to collapse when First World War started, and it was 1914. So the transition time, it took over about 30 years from 1914 until 1945. And this time was important, and the reason was to transfer from empire time to democracy. Then between 45 and 2020, when Corona came, it took 75 years, which we can divide into 3 generations, and each of them 25 years. So first generation, we simply can say that those people really believe they want and they can build a good world. Something really with trust, with belief. And the second generation, the internal values started to fall down, and at that time people basically lived their life in a way like using system making money. It was the rise of capitalism. And then the third generation, unfortunately, lost a lot of internal values. And finally, we have so many internal problems. We have gender problems, we have ecological problems, and younger generation now in reality don't know where they are going. So through this one, we can see that after 3 generations, whole democracy period of time also going to collapse, it's going down. That's why basically universe give us Corona. It's like a warning. Right after Corona, we had a war in Europe. Then we had a war like Israel, Iran, and many others. So from 2020, looks like started period, which is similar to 1914, 1945. So we simply speaking can see that history is repeating from this period of time and this period of time. So the question is, if democracy goes down, what will come out after that? In reality, nobody knows. But at the same time, we could say that this is a time like a generation fork. Generation fork means there are 2 different ways how younger generation can grow. One of them called TechnoModern, and another one is NeoNaturalism. TechnoModern way means that technologies will control our freedom. Technologies will control our mind, the way of thinking, and the way we make our choice. And neo-naturalism, from the other hand, means that we go our life and we make all our decisions based on our heart, on our mind, and nature. And additionally to that, we use high-tech. Let's take a look how we can describe democracy in the simplest way. There are 6 simple bullets. Number 1, it's United Nations and other over like international organizations like World Bank, IMF, UNESCO, and so on and so on. Second bullet is 195 countries in the world which have borders, which have like governance and languages and so on and so on, currencies. Then it goes passport program, and the passport program officially started also after Second World War, and it control people from freedom of movement between countries to countries across the globe. Then it goes private property. Then it goes to the banking system, which can control our ownership of banking of private property. And then goes human rights. So the point is that people who used to live under empire time, they cannot imagine such kind of life like we have under democracy. Similar way, today we live in end of democracy, but still we have no idea and no imagination what kind of life will be next. So People who really have mission mind, people who really want to build something next, we have really considered and imagined what kind of life we want to have. And there are some examples which we can introduce. For example, instead of United Nations, we could have something like family governance. The meaning of family governance is still we need to describe and identify and discuss, but anyway, it will be another concept. Then, instead of 195 countries, we can come out as a one unified nation. So we don't divide all world into different countries, but we consider all people in the world like one unified nation. And from another hand, it could be, instead of 195, it could be a few hundreds of up to 1,000 countries. And many big countries can be divided. Then we can say, instead of passport program, which limited us from moving from country to country, we could have one global citizen ID. And then we go to the decentralized ownership. So nowadays we have private property, we have banking system, but looks like we're going to decentralized ownership and Web3, which can replace banking system and private property. And last one, human rights, which can really replaced by nature rights, which can take over the human rights. Of course, human rights remain. We need to consider again what it means. But on top of that, we can add rights of nature. So this is a history time flow which describes that history repeats, that democracy is going to collapse, the capitalism world looks like going to collapse, new system arise, and we should understand that nowadays we stay in a generation fork and we have two different directions, as I said before, and we should really consider in which way we're going to go, technomodern or neonaturalism. So from our side, we choose neonaturalism, but so far it's not really clear what it means. So our channel and basically all our project, what we do, is dedicated to identify, to discover, to research, to build the system of neonaturalism, which can lead younger generation to more pure, better future. Thank you.